What is happening, people? It is Brian, Alsruhe with NEVERsate.com, and for this video, I'm going to try something completely different that I haven't done before, and this actually isn't the video that I set out intending to make. It's the same format, but I had a different topic, but I figured I would try out this format on something simple like a deadlift, and if it works out and you guys like it and you guys encourage me to try different topics with it, then basically we'll go on from there. Yeah. All right, so if you spent any amount of time searching my channel, you'll know that I have some very, very in-depth videos about the deadlift that go into everything from setup to breathing and bracing to programming. All of it is covered in depth, all right? That's not what this video is gonna be about. The idea for these videos are that I'm going to give you a list of 10 things. 10 do's and 10 do-nots about the deadlift. Could have said don'ts. Probably should have said don'ts. Do's and don'ts. Better, great. Terrific. But my entire idea behind this is take 10 common errors that people do on something like the deadlift, and then 10 things that maybe you're not thinking about, or maybe you are thinking about that just need to be put back into your brain. And then it's gonna be a short, compact video that perhaps you can throw on in your car just listening to. Don't watch and drive, unless it's a really good video. But it's gonna be a shorter style video where I'm just kind of covering a couple things that you want in your brain as the last possible things before you get into your workout. You can also do this maybe when you're rolling out on a foam roller or whatever you do as part of your warm up before your deadlift day. You could throw this on in your headphones, just be going over a couple cues, a couple things that you want to keep in your mind, a couple things that you want to avoid, and hopefully it'll make your deadlift day better. Now, again, if you guys like this format, let me know in the comment section down below, because I have a ton of different topics that I'd like to cover in this sort of manner. And if it's helpful to you, then I will definitely make them. Let me know. I just had to chase my dogs down. Give me a second. All right, so here we go. The very first thing that I do not want to see you guys do is anything different on any of your sets of deadlift. Now, what I'm particularly talking about is during your PR sets or something that really, really matters. A lot of people get more amped up. They'll stomp around, they'll turn on different music, they'll beat their head against a bar, they'll do a lot of stupid things to try to amp themselves up, thinking that that's going to help. But the problem is that all you're doing is starting to trigger things in your sympathetic nervous system, which is kind of like your fight or flight nervous system, right? Like you guys have all heard that term, fight, flight, freeze. Now, I know that you believe that getting angry and pumped up and doing things like that is going to make you stronger. Now, don't get me wrong, adrenaline will absolutely make you stronger, but who it will make stronger are the people who have practiced their technique enough times that they can just fall back. They don't need to think about what they are actually doing. For most people, myself included, I am not a good enough technician with the deadlift to not think about what I'm actually doing. If I get too amped up, my central nervous system, my sympathetic nervous system kicks in, I become a puppy. I start forgetting small things. I end up doing dumb things I normally want to do, and more times than not, I end up missing the lift and end up performing the way that I'd like to. Unfortunately, life is not like the movies, and most people do not rise to the occasion. All that everyone does when really a lot of things start popping off inside your brain, that something could be serious or you could get injured or whatever, all that happens is that you literally drop to about 60-70% of your best training that you've done. So what I think you should do is build a routine. Approach every single deadlift, whether it be 135, 700 pounds, 1,000 pounds, whatever you're walking up to, approach it the exact same way. Take this step, then take your breath, squeeze the bar, do the same things, run it through your head again and again and again. Make it so it is absolute routine and clockwork, because I'm telling you, when you go up on a big stage in front of a ton of people, or something really, really matters and your emotions are in play and you're just all nervous and a lot of things are going on, you will forget things and you will do things that you've never done before in your entire life, unless they are so ingrained in your body that no matter the stage, the audience, the venue, no matter what's going on, you will walk up and go, hey, I'm thinking about these people right now and I'm freaking out, right? However, my body knows that I put my foot here, then I put my other foot here, and then we take this many breaths, we reach down, we squeeze the bar. We do it the same every single time, and then you don't need to rely on anything besides your body. Your body will take care of yourself. It absolutely knows what to do. Your brain's gonna be doing a bunch of other things. If you have done the time training, then just trust your body. And the second thing that I do not wanna see you do is jerking the bar off the ground, thinking that you're gonna get some type of superhuman powers by doing so.
No jerky!
No jerking! This is obviously one of those common mistakes that you see online, and it goes right in turn with rule number one. Look, if you are too amped up, you're gonna be doing a lot of stupid things, and if you jerk on the bar, you're not getting good power transfer. What happens is, you jerk on the bar, the slack comes out of it, it pulls you back down in a reaction, and then you need to adjust, and then you start your actual pull. It would behoove you to take the time to pull all the slack out of the bar, out of your body. And when I'm talking about all the slack, guys, I'm talking about all the slack out of your grip, all of the slack out of the air that could potentially be in your belly, in your diaphragm, anything that could potentially be loose on your body on a deadlift during your setup needs to be taken out. Everything needs to be tight. You need to literally think of being a spring just being compressed, 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 so much so that when you are in the bottom of a deadlift, right before you're getting ready to go, the pressure inside between the air being your belly, everything just being so compact and squeezed so tight, you have the slack out of the bar, it's literally almost hovering, those first couple plates are hovering, and then you release it, right? Right before you release, you should feel so terribly horrible that you can't wait to go out to that weight. That was a lot of weights. So just realize the more that you yank on that barbell, the more pounds that you're leaving out there. The third thing I don't wanna see you do is lifting that barbell. When you think about lifting the barbell off the ground, almost every single person initiates their hips first. That kind of shoots them up off the ground. That barbell starts kind of swing around until it hits a 90-degree point, and then it starts to pick up. When most people think about picking something up, whether it be a barbell or anything else, they're thinking that they're initiating that movement at their hands, like where that point of picking up is, where the item is, that's where the motion is starting. But that's not true. Instead, what I want you to do is think about pushing the floor away. This is gonna help you keep a much more stable and just erect body position so your hips don't shoot first. Instead, you're gonna be initiating your legs, and your upper body is gonna be trying to hold as stable as possible, almost like you're sitting in a leg press machine. Now, I know some of you are just gonna say that's like semantics, and it doesn't really matter, but I would highly disagree with you. The thoughts that you have in your head tell your body exactly what you want it to do, and those things absolutely matter. Ask any serious lifter if the cues that are inside their head matter to them. They might be different than anyone else's cues, but to them, if they do not follow those particular things, they will not get the same results as they would if they had different inside mental speak, I guess. So don't pick the bar up, push the world away. The fourth thing I think you should not be doing on the deadlift is craning your neck up looking at the sky. Now, I am so guilty of this because literally every single thing in my soul and my body is saying up, 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 up when I want to lift a super heavy deadlift. However, that sticks you in such a more anatomically incorrect position for moving anything heavy, all right? So do this. If you stand up like you're proud, like you have a Batman symbol and you're trying to show it off, and you're keeping your neck neutral, envision a heavy barbell in your hands. You'll feel pretty strong. Now, all I want you to do is crane your neck upwards. Feels pretty terrible, doesn't it? Now imagine a bunch of weight in your hands. 5, 6, 7, 800 pounds. So stop doing it now. Yeah, it's not helping at all. It is only hurting. So instead, in my opinion, I think you should keep a neutral neck position where you are looking at a point somewhere between 6 and 20 feet in front of you, depending on what works best for you. But looking up at the sky is pretty much the worst thing you could do, even though I am super guilty of it. The fifth thing I never want to see you do is moving the barbell around your body instead of moving your body around the barbell. Look, especially at lighter weights. When people are deadlifting and their form is not correct and their setup was off, they're trying to drop their hips too low, their knees get in the way or other things get in the way or any part of their body gets in the way, right? And what they end up doing is trying to move the barbell around their body instead of moving their body around the barbell, all right? The last thing that you want to do is take a barbell out of a straight path. That is the most efficient, shortest point between two. You know what I'm saying. Anytime that a barbell is doing this, you're losing power, obviously. So if you're recording yourself from the side and the end of that barbell is moving at all any other direction other than a straight line, then you have to work on your technique, people. It might not have anything to do with your strength while you're not working any better on the deadlift. It could have absolutely everything to do with what you're doing, especially in your setup, because that barbell should just be in a straight line the entire time. So again, move your body around the barbell. Do not move the barbell around your body. Numero 6 thing that I do not want to see you do is engage your hips too late. So you have this super powerful thing that's attached to the back, you know, follows you everywhere, and it's called your butt. Some people also call it your hips, some people call it your glute. You know what your butt is, right? I'm assuming you know how to flex your butt. So since you have that huge slab of muscle, you might as well engage it in the deadlift. Meaning as soon as that bar gets to the top of your kneecaps, you want to engage your butt. You want to start flexing and trying to drive your hips forward. That is going to help that bar go vertical. Now, I'm not talking about ramping or hitching or anything like that. I'm just simply talking about engaging your butt. What I see a lot of times, especially with early lifters, is that they engage their hips too late. They will pat the barbell almost halfway up their thighs before they really flex their butt. And honestly, that is terrific. However, you finished the lift already. Like that's great, but that's not where it was needed. It's needed as soon as that bar gets past your kneecaps. You need to get horsepower back into it, and you need to be thinking about accelerating that barbell. And the only way to do that is get that big ham chunk of your butt flexing and driving forward, and that barbell is gonna finish strong. So just make sure that you're taking advantage of that big muscle group of your hips. Start using them earlier than later in your deadlift, and you'll be shocked at how it will help solve some of your lockout problems. All right, so the seventh thing that I never wanna see you do is slouching at the end of your deadlift. I can't tell you how many times I see people finish their deadlift with their shoulders not completely slammed back. Guys, even if you're not doing it for a lift for strength, if you're doing it for size, bring your shoulder blades back and pinching them together like someone had their fingers between your shoulder blades. Finishing strong like that every single time is an awesome way to build mass to your traps, your upper back, your rhomboids. It is probably the #1 reason why I have any upper back whatsoever, and it's just from doing a ton of deadlifts like this. However, if you slouch or you crane your neck up, a lot of people end up having AC joint problems as well as just weak lockouts, weak upper back. It's not good. You end up being that scary guy in the neighborhood with the hunchback that all the kids are afraid of. It's you, buddy. Congratulations. Numero ocho thing that I do not want to see you do is pulling your belly button towards your spine when you deadlift. I know there are a lot of different camps on this, so I'm only giving you my personal opinion. However, when we're considering how to support weight, I would rather have a full cylinder of air in my torso than one that is already dented when we're talking about trying to support heavy things. In the strength world, in order to be as safe and as strong as possible, we fill up our stomachs as much as possible with air, trying to look fat like Santa Claus, because that is how we can support the most weight. Now, there are a lot of other camps that talk about vacuums and sucking your belly button towards your spine and then bracing that down. If that is what you want to do because of aesthetics or anything like that, then please feel free to do that. All I'm saying is that you are definitely sticking yourself in a little bit more risk if you're talking about moving a very, very maximal level weights or really heavy anything. Because that, my friends, is not how the body works. It might be really good for the photo shoot, but it is not good for back injuries or moving heavy things. So if you are interested in moving heavy weights, I would tell you not to pull your stomach in like you're doing a vacuum when you're lifting anything. I would tell you whether it's a pull-up, a deadlift, or a push-up, you will always get more output, more energy, and more strength out if you have a full belly of air and you brace it down like you're about ready to get kicked by a zebra. And zebras kick hard. It's called experience, people. Read that in a book. Man. Thanks. I think I'm allergic to bad jokes.
Did you just tell a bad one?
Yeah, I definitely did. The ninth and one of the biggest reasons why I think a lot of people's deadlifts are not moving anywhere is that they are doing too much. Now, I am a fan of doing deadlifts, all right? Deadlifts are great, they're wonderful. However, you cannot look at the deadlift the same way that you look at the squat because they have two different central nervous system demands, all right? So if you continually grind out squats day after day, week after week, you can get away with that. There are a lot of people who had great success on the squat everyday program. However, there is not a deadlift everyday program because you would be dead. Lift. So if you need to practice your deadlifts, I'm a huge fan of speed work as well as technique work, but both at low intensities, meaning low percentage of your 1 rep maximum. You do not want to be grinding anything out on these, and if stuff starts slowing down, is a huge indicator that maybe you need to back off just a little bit. If your deadlift sucks and you think the answer is just deadlifting heavy every single day, yeah. And the 10th and final thing that I never want to see you doing on the deadlift is just simply being lazy and just doing deadlifts for the sake of doing the deadlifts, all right? There's so many programs out there that if you ask a coach, like, how do we get better pull-ups? They're like, oh, do more pull-ups. And that's great because it's super annoying because it's partially true, all right? However, that's not the easiest thing to say. If someone's technique sucks, then yes, most likely doing more of these certain thing with a little bit of coaching will absolutely make them better at it. Their motor patterns will start to line up. Everything will improve from that point. However, if you just tell a person who has a pretty decent deadlift form to just deadlift more, then a lot of times you're just gonna dig them right into the ground. For that reason, what I'd rather see you do is some variations, right? Pick some different types of deadlifts that will either focus on your weak points, or like I said earlier about the intensities, if you can't feel like you can go very heavy that day, do an actual deadlift or a deadlift that just by nature is going to be a little bit lighter on you so that you can still push, you can still mentally get after it. However, the implement or the exercise selection, the variation in itself is naturally lighter, so you can't really push to that level where your CNS is affected. Now, I know there are a ton of coaches out there that say if you work on your conventional, it will transfer over to your sumo, but if you work your sumo, it won't translate over to your conventional, and the deficit deadlift will work for speed ultimate. Look, guys, in my opinion, everything goes towards the common goal, right? Every single time that you pull a deadlift from a different angle or a different grip or a different stance or whatever the case may be, your body is getting different stimulus that it's gonna have to adapt through, which is gonna give you a bigger, stronger upper back, tighter lats. It's gonna teach you something about using your hips, your hamstrings, your quads. Everything is going to help towards the end goal, all right? There's a billion different ways to get to the end. If anyone tells you absolutely this works and absolutely this doesn't, then you really have to question that, guys. It might work for you, it might not work for me. All that I'm trying to do in this video is give you some things that I regularly see people do wrong that in my experience, you can fix just by applying these simple things I talked about. All right, guys, so there you go. Let me know in the comment section down below whether this is a good format, if you guys like 10 quick fire points of things that you need to avoid, as well as things that you should kind of be focused on the day, just different ideas of stuff that you could do. Also, if you have ideas for topics, other than the obviously like squat, overhead press, blah, blah, whatever. Like I'm thinking things like making money in fitness, social media, recovery, stretching, all different types of things like that. If you guys have some different type of topics that might be more interesting than just the typical big four movements, please let me know in the comment section down below. Also, if this idea sucks, please let me know in the comment section down below, guys. I am a big boy. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I thank you guys so much for everything you do. I thank you guys for the support all the time that you spend with me every single week. I really, really do appreciate it. I'm going to come at you later in the week, hopefully with a training video where I update you guys on all my hyperbaric chamber treatments and everything that's going on. Feeling good, but I will catch up with you later in the week, hopefully telling you all about that. Until I do, go out to something amazing, guys. Keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other. Forget something? I feel like I forgot something. Be nice. See you then.